Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Shunting Yard. It is Thursday, 8 p.m. BST. Are we on British summertime now? I don't know. I'm in Europe. Yeah. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all well. We've got Dave's in the chat. We've got Matt's in the chat. Everybody is coming in. We've got Chris from Peachy. Welcome, everybody. So today is two special occasions. It is our 10th live stream, which I'm amazed with. Thank you very much. But also, we are here to celebrate a specific anniversary that I think touch a lot of people's hearts. And to help myself and Rob celebrate it with much drinking is Tom from Buggles Kelly Station. Tom, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. SBJ, thank you very much for joining us. Lovely to see you here. So, are we about to find out what's going on? Are we about to find out? Hilton is here. Hilton, how's work? Derek, thank you very much for joining us. Lovely to see you all. So, Tom, let's start with a quick introduction from yourself. If anyone doesn't know who you are, what rock have they been living under? But let us know who you are.
Well, my name's Tom. I run Buggles Kelly Station. Basically, we do daft cameos on model railways, so figures and buildings and things like that. A lot of railway series themed products, but I do a lot of videos as well. Voice acting for Thomas videos. You might have heard me in things like the Unlucky Tugs videos. I do the narration for him. I do lots of Thomas related videos. I'm a bit obsessed. And also Will Hay films like Oh Mr. Porter and lots of old comedy, Dad's Army stuff and things like that. So yeah, you might have seen me at shows or on YouTube or heard my voice and also on the Model Rail Replacement podcast, of course. I pop up on there quite a bit. The premier podcast in Model
Look
Rail.
At that.
Yeah, that's me doing that voice in that advert. Look at that!
Oh,
there we go.
We got it live.
Bloody hell, that was quick. Sorry, no swearing before night. I also have Thomas with me as well, just for this evening.
A VIP guest.
As we did promise.
Yes.
But he's not very happy about it.
No.
So I'll let him sit at the back, and if you've got any questions for Thomas, I'm sure he'll answer. At some point.
I'm sure he will. Perfect. No, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for the introduction. It is an honor and a privilege, sir. Let me say that.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Fantastic. So before we get into the main segment of this topic, as you know, we like to cause some stirring chaos here. So it's time for the news. This is never going away. I promise this is never going away. Tom, do you want to let us know what was announced this week? If I think everybody should know what was announced, but you have a little bit of
There was a little something announced by Accurascale on Monday on the anniversary of the Railway Series. They're doing the model of Wilbert, the loco named after Wilbert Awdry, and they are raising funds for the cosmetic restoration of the real loco, which is sort of at the end of a siding at the minute at the Dean Forest Railway. So yeah, if you want to help that, you can order a model from the Accurascale website, and I think they've been very popular on the sounds of it. I have pre-ordered it. I think I was number 2. I got in just after James of Western Signalman, as I saw.
Oh, did he get
on the
first?
website.
Darn
Well,
it.
I was watching the website as the stream was on, and it said, James from England has just purchased this, and I never knew if that was real or not when it comes up on a website. And I was on WhatsApp with him as well. He ordered it. I think
It was definitely me.
Yeah, not you, him.
No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, it wasn't me because my address on my account for Curascale is Slovakia. So
yes,
darn it, James.
That would have been obvious.
Wow. No, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it was a good announcement. Really happy with how that came through. I think it was a little bit obvious, and I think it was made that way specifically.
There were a few clues. If you look back at the first time the photos were put on the website, there was an extra one at the end in this livery, and the photos on the Curascale website. But yeah, they had to be pretty careful with not going down the Thomas route of things, because obviously licensing issues. Mattel own the Thomas characters license in the UK and the US, so they're a bit cheeky sometimes at the shows. They'll have the faces alongside the logos, just for an in-joke for the fans. But yeah, there won't be any faces released with this model.
No?
No.
Oh. No. Well, that's not very. I mean, I hope when they show these samples at shows that they'll do what they've been doing with the not duck and having some faces just sat in front of them. I think that would be pretty cool.
I imagine they will. Richard New Junction put a post out with a photo with the face on, and he works for a Curascale, so
yeah.
That was straight after the
fantastic.
A fine line, I think, but yeah, it's been it's been hard keeping a secret about it because it's been a very exciting thing, and yeah, it's amazing, really. It's exactly what we need in this anniversary year, because if it's left any longer, I know it's a cosmetic restoration, but there's not going to be much left, really.
No,
if something isn't done soon.
I didn't realize how run down the actual locomotive was. Like that's the first time I've seen it in a fair few years, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked it's been allowed to get to that state.
Well, I saw a photo. It was probably 10 years ago, and it was a similar sort of thing. So I thought it would be worse, actually. It's been sort of that sort of condition for about 10 years. But yeah, it is a shame. But then there's not a lot of money around, and if you've got working locos, you're going to put the money into them because it makes more sense. It brings in money for the railways, so I understand why. But if they can do a cosmetic restoration, it would be awesome in a couple of years' time to see, Wilbur at a Thomas event or something.
Yeah,
like Awdry X. If it continues, which I know it won't be at the Teleclim, but somewhere it would be awesome at the Dean Forest.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
If it's cosmetically restored, they can push it around with an 08 or something, couldn't they? And then it just means that it's an extra character to their events.
Yeah, I mean, or they could pull what they did at a show previously, and I think they didn't they get a 37 in the NEC?
Yeah,
that would be nice. See that in the see that at a show. So
yeah, and the last couple of big shows. I mean, the last one, Model World Live, there wasn't a loco at all. The last one at the NEC. Teleclin's Duncan, sorry. Douglas was there.
Yep.
So, it would be good to see something at the next big show. That'd be cool.
No, completely agree. I think this is a welcome addition to the Ready to Run range, regardless of whether or not we've had previous iterations of the austerity and the same model before, because I know there was a model of Wilbur before. Was it the Hattons?
It was JS Models, is it?
Oh, I can't remember.
DJM, that's it. Yeah,
that's the one.
JS Models.
So yeah, it'd be nice to have an up-to-date model. So yeah, I've got my pre-order and I'm looking forward to it. I didn't go for the sound version, so I'm not sure if I'm going to regret that or not.
I don't do DCC anyway, so it would be wasted on me. Not through any reason, it's just I've never got into it, and I hate sound logos. If you do enough model railway shows and you're opposite a layout with sound, you don't want sound at home because it's not much fun if you're listening to it all day.
We'll have to get you back for the exhibition stream that we've got planned, just so you can tell us of your distaste of sound.
Yeah, thanks. I might avoid
Tom,
that.
I really hope you're not going to the Slough exhibition this year because I'm taking a layout called Halesfield with me, and it's all radio-controlled sound O-gauge locomotives that have speakers in them the size of small Coke cans.
That sounds awful. I was invited, but no, we've got Gaydon the same weekend.
It's a bit closer to home, isn't it?
Yeah, and also Laurie's going to be there, so I decided against.
There you go.
I'm joking.
I knew he was going to come up eventually.
It's a good day for bingo people already. Which reminds me, if you've got a bingo card, let us know in the chat. Don't tell us what's on it, but let us know in the chat. I'm very curious.
We're going to have to make some Shunting Yard bingo cards, aren't we?
I think we're going to have to. It's going to become a mainstay thanks to Dan.
Yeah,
who is in the chat. Welcome, Dan. Okay, Rob, what's coming in O-gauge?
Dapol have recently said that their brand new coalfish and their HAA wagons are on the way, which James has just put up now. And as far as wagons go, they look really good. Especially the HAA wagons. I've always been a fan of the merry-go-round ones. Go really well behind the Class 58. Don't really know much about the coalfish wagons, to be fair. But yeah, that's that bit of news, I guess.
That's it, isn't it?
And there you are. That's the news.
The news.
The news. Yeah, of course, the long-awaited 009 announcement from Rapido is scheduled tomorrow. So darn it, Merp, you're going to get the kick on us for that. Maybe we'll see. But otherwise, we'll explain about that next week. Saying it's good is not helpful.
No, it's exciting. It's what we need. That's all I'll say.
Good. No, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a step in the right direction.
Will it be a railway series release? Do we think?
I'll be cryptic. There's something in there that I thought was a railway series nod, and being Rapido, it's pretty obvious that it was. But no, nothing more about that.
Ooh,
okay. We won't delve any deeper.
Right. Before we move on to the main segment, what are we drinking tonight, Tom? What are you drinking? I know you've asked this already, and I've got it starred.
I have Jura
10.
Jura 10. Not a lot of that left, but then Auchentoshan when we get serious.
Ooh,
when Thomas starts
lovely
pissing me off.
Rob, what about you?
I'm drinking the very expensive little own brand Glen Orkey.
Oh, the blended.
Yeah, the real Scotch. Yeah.
How much of that have you got left?
I've probably got enough to last me until probably the end of the month, maybe.
End of the stream, maybe.
My wife does not need to know that.
I myself am back on the Czech rum. I really love this stuff. It really is nice. I'll have to bring a bottle and start sending it to people every time I come to the UK. It is really, really nice. Blended Bogsquill, yes. Fantastic.
Yes, so, Charlie, I know.
So, today we are obviously here to discuss the Railway series, the 80th anniversary of the books. Here. So, I think the best place to start is our earliest experience. I think the best place to start is our earliest experience, our earliest memory of the Railway series. The books in particular. If your first experience was actually the TV series, then yeah, that also is valid because it's part of the same franchise, isn't it? It all stems from each other. So Tom, when was your first inkling of Thomas?
Well, I think it probably was the TV show, the very first, because I was born in '88. so I was that sort of age, and I was called Thomas. So everything I got as a baby was Thomas things. Some of the things I've still got, like little bowls and plates and things, and T-shirts and little jumper and stuff. It doesn't fit me anymore. But no, I remember the TV show, and we had the VHSs and stuff. I think the first Railway Series book I got was. I should have looked this up because I've already answered it on the podcast, but
we're not talking about that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Jock the New Engine, I think, was the first book I got, which was one of Christopher Awdry's books, and that was 1990 that was released, so I'd have been 2. And then Thomas and the Great Railway Show, which I think was the year after. So they're the first books I got, and then I got the big book of all of them together for probably my 5th or 6th birthday, maybe, all of the Wilbert books. So yeah, that was me kind of hooked. Nice.
Yeah, I can imagine. Rob, what about you?
I think mine was mainly the TV show at the time. I can't remember a time I actually read the books. You asked me the other day, and I was like, actually, you know what? I probably need to get them. I think the thing that set it most in my mind as a child was my Gramps had a massive 00 gauge layout in his loft, and he had every single one of the characters that were available at the time. And I had my own little loop of track on the inside of the layout that all these engines sat on, and that's all I'd play with for like hours.
Yeah.
So it ingrained it into my mind.
I never had any of those as a kid, the Hornby ones, but I did have the there was a Thomas and Bertie, like they were Hornby. They didn't go on the track; they went on plastic track and they raced each other. And he kind of went over a little bridge and a level crossing, and it was 00 kind of gauge, but running on plastic track. So
I think I remember that.
That would have been mid-90s, but you just sparked a memory of Railway Modeler. I don't know. I don't think I ever bought it as a child, but somehow I got hold of a 1995 Railway Modeler, and I did find it on their archive recently, so it's still out there. And it was an article of someone who'd built a Sodor layout, and I must have read that over and over and over and over and over again at some point in the mid to late 90s, and that was just amazing to me because I'd never seen anything. It's just photos, like 3 photos and a little Sodor layout, so that would be cool to find. I might try and find the article and share it one day.
I do really enjoy the people who have actually gone to that kind of level and actually tried to model the actual stations in the Thomas universe. I mean, there's a guy in, I think it's New Zealand, who's modelled them. Do you know? I don't know if you guys.
Is it Mac? Mac Daddy? Oh no, he's Australia, isn't he?
I think his actual Instagram handle is Farquhar Branch or something like that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
His layout is absolutely fantastic. That's it. Hiltz mentioned it there.
It's 2 F's.
Spell it right.
Get back to work.
So yeah, James, what is your earliest influence from the Thomas universe?
So actually, for me, it was the books. My grandfather started reading them to me when I was about 3 years old, so that would have been 96. So that was well into like the 4th season of the TV series. But so yeah, the books were started to be read to me by my grandfather about the age of 3, and it wasn't until maybe 4 that the TV series actually started to be part of my day-to-day existence. So yeah, I remember specifically because it was Duke the Lost Engine. Duke the Lost Engine was the first book that I was read, and I remember that vividly.
That's probably one of the best books as well.
It's a core memory for me. it's one of the standout moments I have with my grandfather, who has since passed away. So it's one of those solemn things that whenever I read it, I think, yeah,
cool.
So yeah, I think that's it for me. What about you guys? Let's have a look in the chat. We've got a few responses here. Let's have a look. So RJ Models 86 says, I actually learnt to read using the Railway series, something that they're not meant for as learning books. I don't know about that. I think they're a great tool.
I think the language that he used was quite sophisticated for kids' books, really. So there's a lot of words that I can't remember any examples, but that I wouldn't have known without those books.
Yeah, I think the Thomas books are pretty damn good for kids reading, because I know that my daughter would obviously struggle with say words like Farquhar and things like that. But once she learns it, she'll be able to reach. It's a difficult word that kids know what it can learn it, and it's a difficult bit of language that they learn by reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't
I
talk
get that.
to children.
Yeah. I think that's also the best part, is it didn't sugarcoat anything. It was, here's the English language, have at it.
Some Welsh in there as well.
Some Welsh in there as well, yeah. Phil,
Sudrian in there as well.
Sudrian, yeah, we can't miss that. Phil, age 2 in 1984, TV series and hooked on train since. I think a lot of us resonate with that. Dave, age 4, being absolutely petrified of James's eye roll.
Believe us, me and Hilt, we're terrified of that as well.
I don't do it often, but when I do,
we know we're in trouble.
Also from Dave, I was too frightened of Thomas at first, so I watched Ivor on VHS instead.
Oh no, there's some proper Welsh.
I'd say Ivor was scarier than Thomas.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
But
I would have absolutely thought so. I'm just going to quickly address Nerdy Norwegian. We will get to your question. We're going to get through some of the book related stuff first, okay? Let's have a look, see if anybody else has added anything here. Learn to read. See, this is the only thing about following chat. King Ori, I think my first exposure to Thomas was when I came to England and was shown a Thomas CD or VHS. When was that, Ori? When was that? I'm very curious.
It must be semi-recent if it was a CD.
Yeah,
we're definitely too old to be relating to that one.
I remember floppy disks.
3.5-inch floppy. That was back when if you said that, no one would be like, "Oh,
hang on, come on, mate, come on." Sodor Train 1225. I was born around the time the hit entertainment era, but I had classic series on VHS as well as the Magic Railroad.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I feel so sorry to hear that. Although Magic Railroad movie, there are some opinions on that, I think.
Bloody hell.
Magic
Railroad movie. I remember it.
Yeah, I remember it.
What was it, 2000? So I'd have been 12. I was probably past the age of watching Thomas at that point. Well,
who is
anybody?
You were on a break with Thomas.
I was on a break with Thomas, but I did get that VHS, and it came with a little gold Thomas or something in it, or a little model of Thomas.
Yes.
And that was
I remember that one.
First time I'd seen any American Thomas. And I've got a lot of American friends, and I've got nothing against Americans to an extent. But my God, what they did with Thomas in that movie just didn't make any sense. There was a whole world of stuff that was nothing to do with the show that I'd grown up with. So it just didn't make any sense, that movie, and it kind of put me off it for a long time. Until I grew up a bit.
I imagine it was probably the case they tried to relate to the American audience a bit too much, and they kind of alienated everybody else.
I think so, yeah.
I think it was due to Shining Time. Was the American live series at the time, and I think they were trying to cater to that, and I don't think it resonates
which is
well
why
with
it
the
didn't make any
British.
sense.
Yeah, at all. Which is why when Harry mentioned, do we mention Diesel 10? No, we do not mention Diesel 10.
Who's Diesel 10?
There you go. Perfect. Right. My notes have disappeared. There we go. So, let's go with, do you have a favorite story as a child, and has that story changed now you're an adult?
As a child, it probably would have been from the TV adaptation of it, but it was the I can't remember what it's called, the chase, Edward and James.
Yes.
Where he's chasing him with the hook of the rope, and it's going do 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 do.
Great score, absolutely great score.
I mean, that's probably just from that TV adaptation of it that made it so impressive to watch. But yeah, that was probably my favourite as a child. But now I've got more into the history of it all, and like going back to the books. So I enjoy like the stories where it shows more of the history of the island, and I like that side probably more so than some of the earlier books where he got into the lore a bit more, like the ones from so Crosspatch is one of the ones from the books, which is showing the story of when Skarloey got to the railway and how they founded that. So yeah, that's the sort of thing I like now. But I enjoy all of them. I'll happily read through them, and you get a different thing from each story. But yeah, it's definitely changed a bit from the TV show ones.
Yeah. Amazing. Rob, what about you?
When I was a kid, my favourite...
Old Iron was the name.
Old Iron.
Nerdy Norwegian, thank you.
It's useful having chat.
Yeah.
My favourite was always Duke Locke's Lost Engine. It's obviously come full circle for me, because even as a child, I always was fascinated with narrow gauge railways, and I always felt like I could relate to Duke. It's just an amazing character, and the fact that he never got a lot of a viewing in the CGI series was just robbery.
Yes, yeah, but then also what would have happened to him? They would have ruined him probably, like they did with quite a few of the narrow gauge engines.
Yeah.
Later shows just didn't act in character anymore, which is a bit of a shame. So maybe
in a way,
wasn't it?
Yeah. So in a way, they saved his character by not including him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's what they tend to do when they drag out shows to the kind of extent where they are now.
Yeah. No, wow. Yeah, I think that's a solid choice. I think the entire Duke the Lost Engine book is absolutely perfect, and I think they actually did it quite justice in the TV series.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think that those 2 episodes where Thomas is actually doing the storytelling, I think that's a great bit of writing.
Yeah. Well, it's a good way to get Thomas into the episode, which is what they had to do.
Well, I mean, you've got
to.
Yeah. I mean, you start introducing these little narrow gauge engines, and the kids that have been watching it for a few years are going to go, "Who the frick is this?" No.
What about you, James?
So for me, I've changed my favorite story actually. So when I was growing up, I remember Bulldog very vividly. I remember Bulldog being the story that I wanted to listen to over and over and over again, and I wanted to see the pictures, of Sir Handel, falling off the mountainside, which Tom, you beautifully recreated that scene. Like it brought back so much nostalgia for me. I was so jealous.
Well, yeah, that was originally done for the Awdry. There was a competition for the Awdry extravaganza that I built that for a couple of years ago. But yeah, that was good fun.
So it used to be that, but now I think it's a sad story of Henry. I think that resonates quite a bit with me now, but also more so because it's my daughter's favorite. It's the one that she keeps wanting me to read. You know, the first book, Three Railway Engines. You know, that's the book that she wants me to read, and it's a sad story for Henry because she wants to sing with me. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain, and she says it all the time.
That's so
you
cool.
know, and absolutely loves it. Yes, Aaron. I know it's Falcon at the time. I apologize. Forgive me for I have Railway Series sinned. So yeah, that's
how
it for
many
me.
we've lost in this chat now. We've gone so nerdy on the Railway Series.
Well, I can't see Sam commenting, so he's gone.
Yeah. Chris is very quiet as well.
Chris is being very, very quiet. So we've got King Ori is saying, yeah, Grandpuff was always my favorite TV episode. I think Grandpuff is a very popular one for multiple reasons.
Hilton's just told us his favorite Thomas character.
Yeah, we'll get there. So nerdy Norwegians. My favorite stories were and still are Thomas and the Trucks and You Can't Win. You Can't Win is a great story. I do like that. Fun fact: Grandpuff was Wilbur Awdry's nickname. I did not know that.
That's new.
There you are. We've got Yorkshire Flying Kipper. So I came very close to saying the Flying Kipper because the music is great. The music just makes that entire episode.
The episode of that is amazing. It's got some of the shots that make it look like a real loco moving as well. It's probably some of the best shots in the whole TV show, I think.
Was that a question for your own products? Was that the direct inspiration for you bringing out the Northwestern?
No, that was actually because it was on Awdry's original layout.
Aha, okay.
The NW, yeah. So it's based on his model. Because in the books they never actually had NW on the side.
No. That's why it was.
Bands. Yeah, so it's based on. They used the same. It looked the same color. Fish van is seen pulled by Percy in a couple of illustrations as well.
Yeah.
And
they're
shown at the Flying Kipper. Yeah, they're shown kind of. I think it must be in that same story, but they don't have the NW. But they did on his model railway.
Fantastic. Rusty Red says, "My dad tells me I used to watch Thomas and Bertie over and over." It's a good story. It's a very, very good story. I can appreciate that.
Again, good music.
Yes, I think that's what resonates with me. The TV series a lot is because the score is so recognizable. You know, each character having their own theme, each being very tied to the personalities. You know, and we'll touch on that in a few minutes. We'll touch on that in a few minutes. Don't worry. Let's see. Oh, Sam is still here. Sam is still here. Yes. We know your favorite character is Scotsman. Don't worry, Hilton.
He couldn't have picked a proper character, could he?
No one has mentioned Thomas comes to breakfast. The wife's reaction is so funny. It's great because Americans don't usually understand sarcasm, so it feels like an in-joke for British people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can get that. I can understand that. A Close Shave, another classic, and another model you've done as well, I believe. The
barbershop. Yeah,
the barbershop. I definitely need to keep an eye on my wallet. Some of the stuff you're bringing out that's related to the series is just insane, and my daughter is catching on to it. You know, she's scrolling.
You're going to be making a Thomas layout soon. You're going to have to build all the track though.
Sodor, I owned a picture book with stills of a sad story of Henry. Yep, picture of sad Henry and the tongue is so ominous. Yes, so this actually goes. I'm going to briefly tangent here. So Harry of Yorkshire Railways and I were having this discussion, and we were saying that if you were going to do like a live version of the Railway series, would it just be a case of, for that story, you just leave a Black 5 in a tunnel and just walk off? You know? Which there are plenty, so you can do it. But it's like just leaving an engine to die, you know, like.
I see this comment all the time, you know, and I've seen it a couple of times with the chat tonight.
Yes.
I don't understand, because in the next story he's let out.
This is true. This is true.
And they're only ever shown together, those two stories. So I see a lot of things like memes about it being.
Oh really? Okay.
Killing engines and stuff, but it never happened.
No, never happened. We love our engines.
Yeah. I mean, the Fat Controller is a dictator, but
I was going to say he's the great dictator. Yes,
I never looked at it that way.
He's still the director at that point, isn't he? He's not the controller yet, right?
It was when the railways were nationalised. So 40. When were they nationalised? 48?
48?
49? Yeah, he became one or the other. I can't remember whether it was controller or director first. Someone in the chat will say, I'm sure.
Chat, please correct us. Dan, Thomas, Terence and the Snow. Thomas's opening lines to Terence are brilliantly savage, and then he has a paddy about his snowplow. I mean, is it a snow episode without Thomas throwing a paddy about his snowplow? Like,
they're my favourite Thomas stories. Is where he's just an arsehole to everybody.
Right? Like, it's just like, no, I'm the best. Go away.
Main character energy being thrown around.
Main character energy, right? Pop goes the diesel. Yeah, Pop goes the diesel. I sing that around the house, you know. When I hear, you know, when we're listening to nursery rhymes and, you know, Pop Goes the Weasel comes on, I just start doing Pop Goes the Diesel, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?"
That's exactly what I did when my daughter was into that stuff.
See, this is it's ingratiated into your brains.
It's in there somewhere. It's just really deep down.
I'm waiting with suppressed anticipation for Buggles Kelly's stick on Thomas's face in TT.
Yeah. I don't have deep enough pockets to play with Mattel like that.
And they,
you never know. Kato might bring them out.
Don't they need a TTD2 first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I
mean, they've barely got a range of steam locomotives without an E2.
Yeah.
Last one, Harry is saying the story when Thomas gets fish in his water tank and it doesn't feel well. I think it's the signposts where it says danger, and you know they're talking like the tank is going to explode, and I'm like, this is adult stuff here, like. Which I think is another good thing about the books, is they do try and incorporate a lot of stuff for adults. Which
it was generally, other than the talking engines, it was pretty realistic, based on like railway operations and laws and things. He was pretty strict with it. He knew about how things would be realistically done, and like even illustrations of Thomas, you can see that he's push pull and he's moving in reverse in some illustrations, the way the smoke's going, and all these things that you wouldn't think about when you were a kid, and until someone points them out as an adult.
Yeah, no.
I just see that comment.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, 100% true. 100% true. Crikey.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, moving on. I'm going to do what I wanted to do from the start, and I'm going to put the questions in the chat. So, was there a particular storyline or moral that has stayed with you into adulthood?
No.
No?
Don't be a dick.
Right? I think that's.
I don't know, really. I think they're all pretty sensible things. I mean, if you don't get too moralistic about it, I'm not religious in any way, and obviously the Reverend was, and you can kind of tell in some stories.
Yes.
And children must be seen and not heard, and all these kind of things. there were some very dated things there. There was some kind of sexist attitudes and stuff that, we've moved on from, things like that. With the carriages all being women up to a point. I think that the general things about being nice to everybody, and I suppose working hard to some extent.
Yeah.
Being really useful. I've always been really useful.
I try.
I haven't. Oh, the opposite. I run a model railway.
You're doing all right.
The least useful job you can do.
Yeah, no, I think that it's sort of why I chose the topic, because as much as we like to say that they're a good book series, I think if they were released now, I don't think they would end up being released for the way that sometimes they're being written. I think there would be a lot of changes required from publishers.
Yeah, there's certain things, I suppose, but it's an 80-year-old series.
It's an 80-year-old series.
You look at things. I mean, I don't know why, but I grew up obviously reading Thomas. I grew up reading Enid Blyton as well, and they were written in the 40s, 50s, similar sort of era, and they were worse in terms of racial language or stereotyping and stuff than Thomas. But I think it's just that's what it was like at the time for children's books. Not saying it's a good thing, or there were certain words used that we would not use today. And even in one of the Thomas books, as we know, there were words that we use, and then he had to come out and apologise later for the use of that. But yeah, it's of its time. I don't think it should be censored today. But also, if they were brought out today from scratch, they would not be the same. They wouldn't be the same stories anyway. So, yeah, I think I don't really know where I'm going with this, but
no, I think you're
there'll be a lot more
going
swearing
around the nail with the hammer. No, I completely understand. I think for the time they were exactly as expected, and because obviously we've grown up with them, we know the vernacular, we know we know the meaning.
Well, you can see now how things are with like All Engines Go, which is a kid's version of Thomas, isn't it? That's how it would be if they were written today, and that's not good. That's pandering to kids and writing for toddlers and repeating ourselves and things and really simple stories. Whereas the books, the way they were written, he wrote for the adults as much as the children. There was that quote, I'm not just writing for children, I'm writing for the adults who have to read these things over and over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's absolutely great about them. And I think it's not, as much as I agree that it's written for the adults that have to write it over and over and over again, I think having grown up and now reading them over and over and over again, I can see the other side of the coin so much better. I go,
yeah.
It's like
you notice something each time. You'll notice something in an illustration that you didn't notice the last time you read it.
It's like when you watch Toy Story or Monsters Inc. or something like that. When it first came out when you were younger, and you watch it again as an adult, and suddenly the innuendo, that innuendo pops into your head or something, and you go, okay.
Yeah.
The funny ones that get me is in modern TV wise, Bluey is pretty much the exact it's like got the same mentality behind it, whereas there's a lot of humor in that show for adults. Yeah, I could watch that show time after time and not get bored of it.
Yes, there was this kind of theme, Harry. No, fantastic. Yeah, I completely resonate with that. I do get it. Okay, so we've had story. We're now going to have character. So, which character from the Railway series, the TV series, did you most relate to as a child, and has that changed?
Wow, this is deep. I most
I have to because Sam and James covered much.
I've always loved Edward. I don't know whether I probably relate to him more now than I did as a child because I'm getting old. But yeah, I've always loved Edward. Can't really explain why. He was the kind one, I guess, and he had a bit of attitude. I like Toby. I like the way that Toby's kind of sits there taking the piss in the background. I've always liked that. I don't know whether I resonated more with him as a child. It was probably Thomas because he was the one forced on you as the protagonist. But it's definitely Edward or Toby now as the ones I relate to more. Probably because I'm a bit older. I'm not that old.
Yeah.
Look at.
No, I get that. Rob, what about you?
Well, I wouldn't say I relate to many of the characters these days, but the one that I liked the most as a child was always Oliver.
Yeah.
I don't know why particularly, but where I was always the person who would love a character and I'd only watch the episodes that he was in.
Yeah, I like Oliver. And
even to this day, my probably one of my favourite types of locomotive is a 1400. So it stayed with me for the entirety of my life, pretty much.
Have you seen the new photos of the Daypole?
Yes.
14? Yeah,
I have.
So
I'm just wondering.
That's exciting.
I've got one on order.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got a 48 and a 517 on order.
Wow.
As soon as they came out, I was like, "That's it, done. I'm done."
I need to figure out what I can use the chassis for in the NG7.
Stop doing that. You're proving Sam right.
But I like it.
Wow. Okay. Charlie, the shunting yard has become the psychology ward, maybe.
Yeah. We're all a bit nuts.
So, for me, originally I would have said Falcon or Sir Handel. You know, quite naive, quite boisterous, thinks he knows everything. But how can I not now think about Toby?
Wow.
How can I not now think of Toby? And I'm only doing this to you, Hilton, because you're not here and you're stuck working.
And he can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything about it. But yeah, I think for me, growing up now, I think I have a lot more patience than I used to, and I try and calm situations and then sit back and laugh when I need to, try and get involved when I sort of need to. I think I sort of resonate a bit more with Toby now.
Shout out to Ukash for making that.
Yeah, Lukash, thank you very much for making that. I've got it as a screensaver on my desktop, so it's so worth it. Continue with more.
The more memes, the better.
So Phil and Dave agree with you. Tom, they both think Edward, definitely the best. Matt is saying Gordon, as he's the closest to Flying Scotsman. I mean, Flying Scotsman was in the books, was he not? Or was he? At least he was in his back end. Was in the series.
Books. He was in the books.
Yeah, so there you go. And his back end was in the series, so probably the best side of him.
What, his ass?
The tender. The tender's the best bit of the loco.
There was two of them as well.
In reality, probably Percy. Yeah, definitely cheeky. I don't know.
I mean, Percy was an idiot.
Percy was just an idiot.
Yeah.
Like backing signals. Come on, man. Like
his driver must have been literally oblivious to any rules of the railway.
Well, see, this is another harkening back. Like at the time, any parent reading that book with the backing signals, they would have instantly known. Oh, it's everything but Great Western. It's going up instead of down. Like, and the kids are like, "What's going on?" Like, oh, I completely get it. Chris is saying Hero was my favorite. Hero is not from I didn't.
It's from the CGI Hero series.
Yeah,
he's a good character.
Yes.
I didn't like the fact that they made a backstory of him being the first engine on Sodor because it made no sense at all.
Yeah, because his locomotive type didn't exist. Did it?
No. But no, he's a good character,
Yes.
good voice actor as well. The guy playing him, yeah, I can see that, and he's probably available in TT. That's probably why I said it.
I've watched so much Unlucky Tub
That's exactly
about
why.
this thing.
Is Hero
exactly
available
why.
in TT, Chris?
If it kit build it or scratch build, I'm sure it probably is.
So Dave says best character was Thumper. You have to say it you have to say it in that accent because it's Thumper.
The guy, the one who doesn't speak and is in 3 seconds of an episode.
That's literally it. Tom is saying Thomas. I know he's not everyone's favorite, but yes, Thomas when I was a kid, and now Thomas. He's an old friend from my childhood, and one of the very few that have stayed with me. I mean, you can't not.
I think everyone likes Thomas. It's I like Thomas. I like Grumpy Thomas. I like Thomas when he's being a dick to anybody. That's the whole reason. When I got this Thomas, I got every face.
It's just banter.
Hilton.
I asked because I commissioned this Tank Engine John, who's a guy you might know, a YouTuber and model maker, and I commissioned Thomas, and I said I only want the grumpy faces because that's the funniest. So all I've got is the really pissed off expressions for this Thomas.
I just love the idea that you say he's really pissed off.
Yeah, he looks it.
He does.
He looks like he's done something wrong. Someone's called him up on it, and he's like, "So,
so fuck off, will you?"
Jonathan Gawley is saying, if I say Donald and Douglas because I'm Scottish, is that self-inflicted cultural appropriation?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Oh, he does have the O face as well.
That is true.
Pedantic mongrel.
That is true.
And Oliver Train Walker, question for O'Gage Thomas. What's it like living with Tom?
Oh, yeah, we've got a first question for O'Gage Thomas.
He's refused to answer that one.
There you go.
Is it not PG? Is that what it is?
No, he loves it. He sits on a shelf all day up there and does nothing. Doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't run anywhere.
And just judges you all day.
He's waiting on the O-gauge layout that's gradually being built.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
very slowly. I've got as far as 2 bits of track and a few rolling stock and Thomas, and that's as far as I've got. I've got nowhere to put it yet, so he will have
accepted.
Alongside everything else.
Yes.
Just don't run him on the carpet.
No, definitely not.
Oh. Aaron, favorite real engine from the Railway Series books? Stepney. Yes, I completely agree with that. Sam, confirm James is a tender man. That I am, Sam. That I am.
He likes an engine with a tender.
Nerdy Norwegian Flying Scotsman appeared in full in CGI. I mean, he was mostly in full in the books, was he not?
Who's that?
Flying Scotsman.
In the books, yeah, he was in the books.
Yeah.
He's in a couple of stories in Enterprising Engines.
Yes.
Very well illustrated book, that one. Sorry, I'll
Duke.
wait for that.
If it comes. Duke. City of Truro. Duke. Plenty of going on here. Oh God! So many comments. Please keep them coming. Keep them coming. Okay. Question. Unorthodox question. And it's time for an unorthodox question before you start again. Is Diesel 10 basically the equivalent of Kylo Ren? And we only like him because he has a cool weapon.
I don't know who that is. Oh,
It's
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Back of my head.
Star Wars reference.
Oh, Star Wars. Hilton, are you watching?
I've seen them all. I just can't remember the names of things that
I
aren't
completely
70
get
years
you.
old.
I completely get you.
Oh man.
I don't know. No, okay. Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Before we start moving into Star Wars chaos. Oh God, those are some terrible, terrible questions. What are your opinions on the most recent renditions of the Thomas franchise? So let's go for All Engines Go. I think that's the most recent thing that's been cancelled, right? It's not airing anymore.
Yeah, that was announced this week as well.
News.
Yeah, I get it. It's not for us. It's for 2-year-olds. You know, it's obviously a completely different style of animation. It's nothing to do with the original characters, in my opinion. From what I've seen of it, I've not seen a lot of it. They do seem to be doing some odd sort of fan service where they'll bring in an old character every now and then, and everyone goes, "Oh my god, ducks appeared in," or whatever, in All Engine Go. So it does seem a bit odd that they're doing that, as if they're trying to appeal to the current or the adult fans. But yeah, I think it would have been better if they'd just done a whole new show, not with Thomas characters. Which obviously the reason they've done it is because Thomas is the well-known name. But I think it didn't do anything good for the brand. It damaged it really.
They tried to use it for the clout.
Yeah, exactly. I've got nephew and niece, 2 nephews and a niece, but 2 of them are 3 years old, and they'll watch classic Thomas. They're not interested in All Engines Go, so I don't really get it. You know, I think there's something special about the older stuff. Even the CGI, I don't mind the CGI. I never used to like it, but I've grown to appreciate parts of it now. But yeah, All Engines Go is not for us, I don't think. I'm pretty glad it's finishing. And I'm looking forward to what happens in 2026. Don't know if you've heard about this.
No.
What a moment.
Go on.
So there was when there was the big announcement for the Railway Series thing, there were lots of articles. And there was one that said, this is from Ian McHugh, or from Mattel in general, and they said that in 2026 there will be something released which Thomas will be going in a new direction to please fans new and old, and nobody knows what it's going to be. I'd like to think it'd be a return to the model series.
I would love a return to the
That'd be
model series.
amazing.
I can't see that happening. It will probably
Well, they're
be
selling off
CGI
all the
or
props.
something. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're doing that right literally this second, aren't they?
Yeah,
so yeah. I've no idea really. It's happening though. Apparently,
that's really exciting.
It could be the long-awaited Mark Foster movie, the guy who directed. What's the Winnie the Pooh film?
Christopher Robin.
Yeah, so it's that sort of style of story where it's about Awdry and in that sort of way, which I think would be awesome if that actually happened. That would make sense. But if it's another reboot of All Engines Go, I think it'll be dreadful. So
it'd probably be the death of the whole series, wouldn't it?
But the thing with Thomas is there's so much money in it, and it's so loved everywhere around the world. They're not going to stop because All Engines Go's finishing. It's definitely going to be something that they'd be stupid to let it finish with the amount of cash it brings in. So who knows?
I don't think the franchise is going to end anytime soon. They'll have to find a way back into it and to claw kids back into it for sure.
They should definitely go back to the CGI and give the locomotives back their valve gear
and rivets.
Yes,
that's
what
older people want nowadays is rivets.
But if they want a voiceover, you know,
got the man right here.
Yeah, come on.
As long as I can make
modern day Ringo Starr.
Oh, it's nearly 9 o'clock. I can say fuck.
You can say.
I've already said it. I think it was like 35 minutes in, and I said that.
Oh, we're done. That's it. Done. Just before we get your straight up opinion, if it is going to be a movie based on like the Christopher Robin style, who would you have play Awdry?
Oh,
I think there's only one current. I think there's only maybe 2 choices I would think that are the right fit.
Maybe John Hurt.
He's dead.
Okay, 3. But yeah.
Shit.
Maybe Bill Nye would work if it's the older Awdry.
Yeah.
But if it's a younger thing, don't know.
I've got it. Michael Gambon.
British actor. Again, he's dead.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Hugh Grant, someone said. Spring Cottage.
Hugh Grant.
I think if it's an origin story and it's set around the sort of the war, he was... When was he born? 1911. So he'd be in his 40s, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
30s, sorry.
Mid-30s?
Yeah. 1911? Is that what he was
David
born?
Tennant?
No.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Tom Hardy.
Too old.
Can you imagine?
That would be great. Just a meathead walking around. You know,
it's a fucking tank.
Oliver Walker, thank you very much for joining us. You have a good night, mate.
Good night, Oliver.
Good night, mate.
Don't fall in any turntables. Charles Dance, a bit too old. Are you thinking too old?
And again, I think he's dead, isn't he?
Yes.
We need to find some way of reviving these people.
Sorry, Charles. He's not dead.
Idris
but
Elba.
he's 78.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba would be perfect. Can you imagine?
If it's produced and directed by Disney and endorsed by Disney, yes.
Isn't he rumored to be the next James Bond as well?
No,
he's too old.
That's been no. It's already been confirmed, but we're not going to James Bond. But it's already been confirmed.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Eddie Redmayne.
That could work actually.
Eddie
Redmayne
was on my radar.
He does good sort of characters like of realistic people, doesn't he? So
yes,
anyway,
he did a voiceover for CGI series as well, didn't he?
Yeah, who's Ryan?
Ryan, I don't know the CGI series. So I don't even know what locomotive he was. So
he was a purple tank engine. That's useful.
A purple. It's based on a real
GNR
locomotive.
class N2/1.
Yeah. It's based.
I thought you were on about Ivo Hugh for a second there.
No, I was not on about Ivo Hugh. Yeah, the N2. Thank you, Lukash. Thank you, Thomas. There you go. So back to what we were talking about. So Rob.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. It's I'm the one that tangented because I was very curious as to what was going on. So what about you, Rob? How do you feel about the most recent renditions?
Can I sum it up in one word?
Yes.
It was shit.
I completely agree with you, mate. So
there you go.
So, without sounding too far up my own, I screened a lot of current kids stuff before allowing my daughter to watch TV. Needless to say, she's watching Rosie and Jim, the original Thomas series, Sooty and Sweet. She's watching stuff from my childhood because that's the level I feel of how not good current kids' TV is.
I totally agree. I'm going to go back to it and say the only thing I let my daughter watch that's modern is Bluey, purely because it's the best one out there. But as soon as I heard this, as soon as I saw the first images of this all engines go thing, I was like, what have they done? What have they done to my boy?
Yeah, no, I completely. I get that for sure. Dan is saying it's like Wooden Railway Fever Dream version.
Actually, yeah. I didn't think of it that way.
King Ori's, it's okay. If people want to watch it, that's fine, but no interest in it personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have a go at anyone who wanted to watch it.
No, not at all.
Everybody's got their own opinions of it. End of the day, and as
like Tenders.
Kind of people. Yeah, exactly. But James really likes Tenders.
I do agree with Will what he's just said.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to move my light.
I mean, Awdry called it like how many years before it happened?
Yeah, I completely agree. So before I forget before I take this comment off, so Will, I'm asking you this directly. What about the transition? There was a season, I believe, that was a transition between model and CGI where they changed just the faces.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I can
Did you
imagine it
find
was
it
quite a
as
shock.
terrifying as I did? And bear in mind, I must have been like, oh God, when was that? That was mid-2000s?
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
It was
Yeah,
it was
so
just after the movie, wasn't it? A couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
seasons
So
after.
you know, even as a sprouting teenager, I found that terrifying. Like, you know, just it was just to go from just moving side to side and doing, you know, the creepy rolls was okay. You know, we got used to that, and then suddenly the cheek expressions and facial just, you know, no, I'm good. No, I don't get it. Right, let's move on. So Harry has a question. So when Thomas eventually becomes in the public domain, pitch a horror movie like the Winnie the Pooh one for Thomas. Harry, if you've seen that, it's a terrible film.
Have you guys seen that game where that's on Steam at the moment, where they drive an engine around an island and they get chased by a massive spider engine with a face on it?
I've seen clips of it. That looks
Yeah.
awful.
It looks dire, man.
There's your film right there, Harry. Moving on. Yeah, season 12. All engines go. Yeah, polish that turd well, Mattel.
That's what they thought before they ticked it off for showing off to the world.
No.
I think if they just kept it as a separate show, original characters or something, it would have done a lot less damage.
I agree.
But I understand why they didn't.
They did it to reduce costs, didn't they? Probably.
They did it to save the brand. They did it to use that brand as a way to get people to watch. I don't know.
It's a shame, really.
No, I don't know. I got very confused by that direction when it was announced. You know, I thought I just started growing on the CGI, and then that turned up, and I don't. Yeah. Okay. In your opinion,
sorry. Before you, I've just seen Peachy's comment.
Go on in.
My sliding door moment. I turned down an offer of working on Thomas to work on James Bond. If you don't know, Peachy used to work in Hollywood. He did Harry Potter and Bond, and I think Peaky Blinders. I think he said he did bore me for hours with it all. I can't remember, but
Chris, were you working at Pinewood?
He was working everywhere. He was a
That's
model.
amazing.
He is a model. He's a very good model maker, as you may well know. But yeah, if you had the chance to work on Thomas, then you're just a fool, and I have no respect for you anymore.
No, absolute fool. Off you go. Bye. No, please stay. We need numbers. Please stay.
Don't forget to like, everybody.
Share the stream. Share the stream on your page.
Share it quickly. We've got 50 odd minutes left. Share it quick.
Everybody hit the like button. It helps the algorithm.
Yeah, so I feel sorry for you if you turned down a Thomas bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Was that the movie? That wouldn't have been the movie then, would it, Chris? Or was that the TV show? Please answer.
Yeah, while we're waiting for the answer, let's So, which character in the books would you have most liked to see appear in the model or animated series? So I think you answered it. This is probably the one question I have where I think you've already answered it, and I want to see if your answer has changed.
On the podcast, the Model Rail Replacement podcast.
Don't plug.
I answered Neil, the ugly but kind engine from Very Old Engines, just because I like the idea of that being an episode. That would have been cool. Doing something set in the past. So yeah, I'd probably say Neil. I also like. I'd like to have seen the the small engines appear as models. I know they came through in CGI, but it would have been cool. Yeah, it would have been cool to have them because they'd have been on 00 gauge track probably.
Yeah,
and it just would have been fun. And also, Jock the new engine could have appeared in that. Then
no,
that could be a whole separate. That could have been a whole separate series.
It is literally a whole separate series.
It could be like they did Jack and the Pack. They could have just done.
Don't start with Jack and the Pack.
Yeah, ignore that. But like they did that as a separate thing within the world of Thomas, they could have done a whole series on the small engines. Maybe we pitch that. Maybe that's coming next year.
Maybe we pitch that to Mattel. I'll start writing up a business plan.
Okay, I'll leave that to you. I'll
you
take
do the narration.
Yeah, perfect. I'll do.
We'll get Mattel on board. There you go. Rob, what about you, mate?
I'm sure a lot of people in the chat can probably imagine this one coming, but my hook, line, and sinker loco would be Ivo Hugh.
Ivo Hugh. Who mentioned? Who wants Tom Rolt on your bingo cards? This counts.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
We need to say all the other ones that Dan didn't tick off last week. We need to find those and say them all in this stream.
I didn't save the screenshot. I'm so worried about that. I didn't save it. So yeah, I get that. I think Ivo Hugh is a good one for the narrow gauge line.
My favourite loco.
We can't tell, Rob. We can't tell.
I've moved on.
He's on the next drink.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm on my third double whiskey as well.
That bottle's lasting a long time.
I was going to say, come on, man.
There's probably about 2 more left in it.
So Victor, I think Bear is my second choice. I think I would have loved to have seen Bear in the model series, not so much the animated series, mainly because I'm a model series guy. But for me, it's got to be the Coldy Fell engines. It really has to be. I think that set of the Mountain Engines book is so good. Like it was really a missed opportunity. And I think a definite missed opportunity. It could have potentially been a spin-off all in its own.
Yeah, I can see that. But I also wonder if they're special and it's a lot of people's favourite book. It's one of my favourite books, Mountain Engines, and that's probably because it didn't appear. So it's a completely separate thing. I think maybe it would have been spoilt if they'd had it in the TV show.
That's very possible. I mean,
I don't know whether... I know when the models came out, that was a surprise because Ertl brought out models of the Mountain Engines, and that was awesome because I'd never seen them on TV, but I loved that book. But I don't know how I'd feel about it.
What were their names? I used to have the models as well, but I can't remember the names of them for the life of me.
Lord Harry. I had a map on my wall, but I've just moved house and I haven't unpacked it yet. Ethan or something. Oh, there we go. Patrick.
Oh, that was he was renamed Patrick.
Godred. Yes.
Godred. Coldy,
of course. Any more?
Something beginning with A, not Aowen. That's the Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
I think there's only 4 mountain engines on the Snowdon Mountain Railway.
It's Alfred. You've got Ernest.
There was another one, Ernest,
Wilfred, Coldy, Lord Harry, and Alaric.
Shane Dweeney. Apparently.
Shane Dweeney?
Yeah.
That's not in here.
No, that's in the lore books. I'm just reading that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, he could have worked on Series 5. Only, like, a lot of people consider the best series. I don't personally, but... Such a fool. That was the one with the most special effects and stuff.
Sam. Why do you do this to me?
Thank you. Shane Dooney was number 5. Thank you.
No,
he's not in the books.
He's not in the books. No, he's not in the
He's
film.
in
Sam,
the
I can't understand that now.
backstory.
Matt's just put a good comment. Rob, Dan, James, and Hilton are premier names for a reboot.
I mean, yes.
I'm game for that.
I'm game.
I think James has been used, hasn't it?
So
Yeah, true. Sorry, James.
that's all right. You take my thunder. That's fine.
How many kids do you think of our sort of age? I know you're younger than me, but of our sort of age are Thomas fans because of our names and what we were bought as children. Did you get lots of James things?
Oh yes.
When I was little,
Yeah.
my friends always used to call me Thomas for some reason.
Fair enough.
I can't see why. And with that, we sip our drinks.
Alaric, thank you. Alaric was the name.
It's funny you say that because we would love to do our intro like that, but YouTube wouldn't let us.
I did a day. Whose video was it? Thomas Fan 2002, I think. And I did an intro in the style of Jeremy Clarkson.
Tonight on the Shunting Yard.
I would genuinely love to do that. I genuinely would, but I tried.
James
posting
drinks a
something.
whiskey.
James takes a sip from his sippy cup.
Yeah, wasn't the Top Gear thing the first strike or something for the Shunting
Yeah,
Yard?
it was literally
on
the first
YouTube.
strike. Literally
was it
the
the
first
music?
strike on the
Music.
shunting yard.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing with YouTube. You've got to be careful with the music over
Yeah.
everything, haven't you?
And it wasn't even a warning as well. It was an absolute strike. For the Thomas music, we got a warning, but yeah. Absolute
Yes.
We
nightmare.
were almost cancelled, everybody.
Easy on the rum, James, in case you get a red nose and get buzzed. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. So
Next question.
The last question I have in my arsenal, and then we're gonna have to resort to the chat. Which of the characters in the animated series?
Do you mean the model series or the animated series?
This is telling me the animated series.
Okay.
Is this my question?
This is deleted half of the question. Could the show
Would you
have
like me
done
to read
without?
it? Yeah.
No, it's removed half the question. So, which character from the animated series, if you remember it, could it have done without? If not, we can go to model series.
There was so many in the animated series
I
that.
think it could have done out without most of them, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
There were a few that came through that worked well. A bit biased because he's my friend, but Bob Golding's character of Stephen was very good.
Stephen?
Stevenson's Rocket, great character. Could do without.
The ones that come to mind for me are those two American streamliners. What the hell are they doing in Barrow? Like, what? There'd be Black Fives if anything. Why would they have American streamlined locomotives in the UK?
Idea.
Well,
Why would they have a
lot of things that
Japanese
don't make-
loco?
Yeah, as soon as it went to Mattel or whoever, the US audience, just
Kenji.
a lot of things didn't make sense, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't really know the answer to that question.
No, it's very difficult. What about model series? Because I think my answer is more tailored towards the model series.
I'd say Smudger because it would please Luke Ryan because he hates him.
Really?
Yeah.
But
Just
I mean,
because a
other
lot of
than-
people come to the Talakli and expect to see Smudger. And Smudger
But-
never existed. In the books, it was a Baldwin class.
Yeah, it was a Baldwin. I don't know. Yeah, Smudger, definitely. Yeah, but I mean, at least it's a nod to the books. It's a nod to a character in the books. It might be a completely wrong name, but the story is the same.
I suppose it's just because it would have been nice to have had the. They wouldn't have built that model just for one little episode, though, would they? I suppose. Stanley. Stanley, sorry. Yeah.
Stanley. Yeah, Stanley. Dan going straight for the jugular. George Carlin take his narration to the harbour and dump it in the sea. Well, like the tea.
That is going to be controversial.
We don't talk about the tea.
We don't talk about
the tea. No. We'll never forgive the Americans for that.
I don't know, Rob. What about you?
Well, I've already said my piece. I just think it's anything American that's in the British Isles just does not look right. It wouldn't fit in the loading gauge. So what's it blooming doing here?
Callum Wilcox is saying, Rosie, welcome, Callum. Thank you for joining us. Stanley
Rosie, yeah. Rosie was an odd one. Again, an American tank.
Yeah.
I get the impression that Rosie was included because they needed more female characters.
Yes.
Definitely. It's not a bad thing at all.
No, absolutely not. Added diversity.
It was, if it's sort of crowbarred in and obvious, it's a bit of a shame.
Because I imagine that.
Yeah, what the hell?
With.
Daisy was the only female character originally, wasn't she?
Daisy and
no.
Mavis.
Daisy.
Yes, Mavis as well. Yes.
Then you had Emily.
Yes.
The Sterling single.
Yes.
Which I accepted. It took me a while, but I accepted. until they decided on the 8 engines they wanted, and they got rid of Duck.
It was very odd that Emily had a Scottish accent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I always wondered if it was they thought Stirling. Well, that's a town in Scotland.
So that'll
maybe
do.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
Just didn't make a lot of sense.
It should have been a P2, really, shouldn't she?
No.
She's going to be Scottish.
No, I'm good, thanks. So, Ori is saying Hank. There you go. Victor saying Arthur.
Arthur. There's a lot of love for Arthur out there. I don't really get it myself.
I don't not hate Arthur.
His face doesn't suit his body. He looks like a big, strong engine. He's got a little, tiny face.
He's just limited by the size of the boiler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I think Spencer could have been done without.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't see why they needed to introduce an A4 type locomotive.
I know Hilton isn't going to like this, but who needs an A4?
Well, no, but the thing is the books lined it up. You know, the books lined it up for Gordon's replacement to be a HST.
Yeah.
You know, they lined it up for a HST, so it would have made more sense for them to bring the Duke or Duchess, whatever, with a HST in a nice
that would
livery,
have been nice. That would have been nice to have them in it.
Well, the HSTs are as iconic as an A4. So,
if not more.
Yeah. I mean, did I take it HSTs appeared in the books, right?
I'm just going to do some stirring.
Did HSTs appear in the books?
Yes.
Christopher's books.
So it doesn't really make sense why they weren't used then, because I've seen models of them which are absolutely superb.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Jay. The US modeler, Jay Jones. He's custom built them. He's done all the characters, but Pip and Emma are really cool with the yellow faces and stuff, which is cool because in the books the Diesels all had yellow faces, and I did like that, like Boko did.
Yeah, full yellow ends are kind of the standard for British Railways anyway, aren't they? So it fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Lukash, thank you for that. So Patrick Sterling, the designer of the single, was Scottish. So there you are. That might explain Emily's Scottish accent.
Yes, but from memory, who designed the A4s? Oh, goodness sake.
Gresley.
I've got it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember.
Gresley. I'm pretty sure Gresley was Scottish as well, wasn't he?
Was he?
Gresley. Let me check.
That
Nigel
guy?
Gresley. No, sorry. Yes, he was. He was born in Edinburgh. Yes, so so Gordon should have had a Scottish accent by that logic.
I know, but he was born in Doncaster. It was made in Doncaster.
And where was Emily built?
Well, where were the Sterling singles built? Doncaster?
Let's have a look, shall we? Great Northern Railway.
Yes.
Patrick Sterling. Built.
Phil's saying Doncaster.
Possibly, yeah.
So it doesn't.
They
Sense.
should have all sounded like Jeremy Clarkson because he's from Doncaster.
I was going to say because he's from Doncaster. So there you go.
Although he doesn't
Tonight.
Tonight.
On Thomas and Friends.
Gordon blows his stack.
Henry
Thomas
stuck
falls in a
tunnel.
well.
And James tries to promote some gin.
Shouting power. Gordon shouting power.
That would be really funny.
As he's pulling the express up of Gordon's Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just spinning his wheels. As he's sliding back down, just constant wheel slip.
We've fallen into chaos here. This is great.
As we're down this little rabbit hole, I know it's nothing to do with the question. I can't remember the question.
No. Carry on. We're past questions.
The whole
now.
accent thing, I remember looking up where Duck was built. Duck was built in Glasgow, if he was going by the number sequence. So he should have a Scottish accent.
Indeed, he should. And Hilton should own one.
He should.
He should own.
Built in Scotland.
There you go. 5741 built in Scotland.
James, he does actually have a 57XX.
He does.
Because I gave it him. So he needs to get on it and get it running on his layout.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this is brilliant stuff. This, I love it.
Yeah, so actually this was news to me, Dave. So it wasn't until after the unnamed podcast that I knew that people like Olivia Colman or Eddie Redmayne were doing voices, because everything was coming out of the woodwork then. So yes, they should have had Clarkson in there too. Completely agree.
I get the feeling Clarkson would have made a good licky banker.
That's very
power.
dangerous to say.
Just pure power, nothing else.
He is a bit of a banker, to be fair.
He's a bit of a banker, to be fair.
And do you know what they should do? Keep referencing that you're such a banker.
Ori, if you're not in the Discord already, join the Discord and share a link to this video. I need to see it.
Can you share a link to the Discord?
Yes, Phil,
get on it.
Pop a Discord link in the comment section, please.
And everybody, if you're here for the first time, please subscribe to what we're watching.
Yes,
the model rail
Shunting Yard. No, not them. No, the Shunting Yard. In fairness, most people have already subscribed to Merp, so
you had one job, Tom. One job. No, I don't know. Okay, we're going really off the rails here. So by that logic, Scarloey, Rene, Sir Handel, Peter, Sam shouldn't have Welsh accents.
That's true, yeah.
I totally agree.
I understand why they did it, because they're imagining they're the Talaclin railway engines, but they were all built in, is it Whitehaven?
Whitehaven?
Yeah. But there's very little locomotives that are actually built in Wales. They're mainly built in England.
Oh, they are very little.
And Western Scottish, yeah.
Sorry.
But
okay, thank you very much. Welcome. You're better late than never.
Right, we better start again then.
Yeah, right. We're going to go back again. Oh, I've deleted all the questions.
Welcome to the Shunting Yard, everybody. This week we're discussing Thomas and Friends.
Aaron, yes, I told you to stay on topic.
Aaron never sticks on topic.
So we've got a link to the Discord. I'm going to join it now.
Yeah! Everybody must join it.
I never use Discord.
That's fine.
I don't understand it. I think I'm
we can
5
teach
years
you, Tom.
too old. Because I'm on so many different Discord servers and I
Tom,
have no idea how
really?
it works.
Tom, with all honesty, I'm a '89 baby, and James and Hilton had to teach me how to use it, and now it's all I use. So you'll come round. It's a very good bit of kit.
That's my picture. There's a photo of me on there.
I would pay to have Rod Gilbert doing voices for the narrow gauge engines.
Oh my god, yes!
I could so get behind that. And
do you know what you want? You want each of the in-betweeners playing some of the narrow gauge engine characters as well.
That'd be funny.
No.
18 rated. Which engine do you reckon Joe would be?
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, should we move on?
Moving on. Bruce, totally off topic. Does anyone still have nightmares about that ruddy boulder? Are we on about the boulder of the from the narrow gauge episode? Is that what you mean? That chases all the narrow gauge engines, almost crushes Percy, and then somehow blows up a shed which has no earthly business having pyrotechnics in it. Which I think might be my biggest gripe of the model series, is that shed blowing up that extensively.
Well, if Peachy had worked on it, then that wouldn't have happened.
Well, I'm going to check what series that was. Rob, think
Series
of something.
5.
Well, was that Series 5? Oh, there
it
you
was
go.
the one that Peachy was asked to work on, but he turned it down for James Bond.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
It could have been brilliant.
Matt, Joe Wilkinson is a great shout.
Yeah.
But I don't get what locomotive Joe Wilkinson
He'd
would be.
A diesel, definitely.
He'd be a
diesel. I reckon he'd be a class 37.
Salty.
Or that, yeah.
I can see him voicing Salty, because he's always got a story or something, some bollocks to tell.
It just screams out of 10 cats, doesn't it? He just waltzes onto the screen in some sort of outfit.
George, why not? Why not? Why not? Nostalgia is a great thing. Go
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd totally say that everybody should look back at the older episodes of Thomas and read the books and things and relive your childhood. They're just absolutely brilliant. And you'll never see anything like them again.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Okay, so Nerdy Norwegian, I promised you we would get to yes. This, and I have it starred, so don't worry, I did not forget. So, thoughts on the new Kato Thomas models or the new Trackmaster engines?
Well, I don't know about the Trackmaster is the anniversary ones, isn't it?
Yes.
With the Railway Series faces. I've never bought a Trackmaster train in my life, but that one does look nice. I've not ordered one, but I'll think about it. Kato, interesting.
Yeah.
Because they have the license for Thomas in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to do these things. And it looks like they're bringing out their Prince model as Duke from some photos that were released a couple of weeks ago. But they also, before that, probably 6 months ago, they shared alternative faces for Bachmann models, which is interesting in that they're working on something for another brand. They were just 3D printed samples that they shared. But yeah, that would be cool if someone does it, because the faces that come with Bachmann models aren't even CGI faces. I don't know what they are, but they're definitely not the model series ones. So there's definitely a market for it, and it has to be done properly, because I know a few people who sell them, and they're going to get into issues if they get caught, basically. You can't sell Thomas faces without the license. Which Bachmann pay a lot of money for that license. So I understand why they'd be angry if there were things being sold in this country under the same license, but without a license. So yeah, my thoughts on the Kato ones. Yeah, Bachmann USA, but also Bachmann Europe.
Oh, okay.
Now they're sold directly in this country now. since Hornby lost the license a few years ago, or gave up the license. So yeah, the Kato thing's interesting. I hope it happens, and I hope somebody imports them into the UK, because I'm going to buy one. But yeah,
there is a website you can get Japanese imports off, I believe. I can't.
Yeah, there's
remember
also
what it's called, though.
Tootly Thomas does them as well. He normally has a lot of Japanese stuff, but it
Yeah.
goes so quickly. But yeah, that's a good website. Tootly Thomas, if anyone needs to find anything really obscure.
There you are. Today's shout out, Tootly Thomas.
Yeah. How about you? Are you going to order anything, or are you interested in?
I would
Duke?
really love that Duke model. I really would. I don't have 009. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm waiting for a particular model before I delve into 009.
Which model?
But the Vale of
Yeah.
Rydell tanks
Oh, okay.
that have been teased for the last like 9 years or something stupid like that. You know, they popped up as an image a long time ago, and I went, when they come out, that's it. I'm done. And then I saw Duke, last week before, and I was like, someone go to Japan and buy this for me, please.
I don't think it's been released yet. It looked like
it's not yet.
It was a sample somebody had painted up.
Yeah. But speaking of 009, a certain retailer had a very
TMC.
good package deal very recently that I almost bought so I could repaint it myself.
James, I saw that exact same deal when you posted it, and I took everything in me to resist buying that.
Took
Say
everything
trains
in me.
for my miniature railway, because I'd love it. Just
Yeah.
£300 for a loco. 4 wagons and a load of track.
Less than that. It was 260.
Actually amazing.
269.99 for a train set of 009,
Just-
basically, without
I mean,
the controller.
You could sell everything in that set apart from the locomotive and make your money back.
Yeah.
Idea for somebody. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
There you go. Somebody do that. You're telling me at some point Subway had a license for Thomas Faces. Did they?
No way.
Subway.
Subway.
Sorry, did I say something ridiculous?
No.
we-
Subway was definitely written there. Jay, did you mean to say Subway?
I'm suddenly hungry.
Some pint.
I think that's supposed to be point.
Oh, okay. Subway.
They might have had it for like their kids' meals or whatever, didn't they?
With the Thomas and the Magic Railroad models. So I think that.
Oh,
might
I
have been
see what you mean. Sorry, yeah. So
royalty.
things that come, like if you've got something with a Happy Meal or whatever.
It's
yeah,
a
that'll be
momentary kind of license like McDonald's have sometimes. Yeah.
that won't be Subway. That'll be Mattel. It'll say Mattel stamped on it. You know, they'll be the ones that have given the rights to produce that to whichever company. Yeah,
I can imagine
it's a bit
McDonald's have
different
had
than
that
what
at some point.
yeah. I'm sure there's been Thomas stuff, but I just know from doing licensing, it's very strict. Like I do Dad's Army wagons, model railway wagons, and I'm the only one who's allowed to do them. So if another company came along doing model railway stuff, they'd have to approach the license holders for Dad's Army, and they get told that they couldn't do them, especially at least not in the UK. So
Tom,
it'll be
have you
exactly
got
the
any
same
plans?
for Thomas.
Have you got any
Go on.
plans to do any of those for 7mm narrow gauge?
Tell you what I could do. I could sell you a 001, and you could just run it on 7mm narrow gauge track.
I mean,
So-
yeah,
Give him
that's a fair point.
Don't give him
That's not
ideas.
I'll buy that one of those and the fat controller model.
Yeah,
That's all sorted then.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
need one of those. Look for my order.
great. And everyone else?
Yeah.
He's
How
going to
many have we
start.
got
He's rubbing his hands together now.
Yeah. Lucrative.
39
lucrative
watching.
experience.
Bloody hell.
That's really good. That's really good.
We're doing very well. We're doing very, very
Considering.
well. Tim Boogle Skelly is much more entertaining. Is that your alter ego when you've been drinking? Tim Boogle Skelly.
It's just a personal friend of Chaz from Peachy TT120.
He's going to start getting up and dancing soon. Douglas
Yes.
Kelly, you know.
Right. If you've got some more questions, get them in because I've completely run out.
There have been a few that have popped through.
Yeah, I'm looking back through, seeing.
Repeat your
seeing
questions, everybody.
Yeah. Repeat your questions because I've had a few runs.
I've got one.
Go on.
Go on then.
Tom, have you got any plans to buy any of the props that are currently on sale?
I have created an account with Props.
Oh.
Yeah, I've signed up. I've given my credit card details over and all these things you have to do before you can see the prices. And I checked it today, and the cheapest thing that I was looking at is £300, and that was for the little models of the food.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, to be honest. Thomas is on. I mean, I'll check now. Actually, when I checked this afternoon, Thomas model was about 6,000, I think.
Hang on. What's the? Can someone message me on Discord?
I don't think you'll be able
auction thing, or can you not see it if you don't have an account?
I'll put it in the chat, but I don't think you'll see the prices because you have to. I think you have to log in. Thanks for the boogles, Kelly. At the minute, the large Thomas prop is current bid 6,500.
I was mentioning, so we were having a brief discussion of this because we have a Trains with Faces section of our chat, and when this was posted that there was an auction, I think Lukash was saying, "Oh, I'm going to have a look at some bits," and I just instantly said, "It's going to go for stupid money."
The problem is
they're going to go for stupid money.
They're selling things like a set of faces, and they're not particularly faces that go together. You might have 7 different characters.
Yeah.
If they'd sold them individually, I know it'd be a lot more work. They would have gone for more sensible money, and I think more people would be able to own something. Because the things that I was interested in, and there's a set of like the Fat Controller's office furniture, and it's all the stuff from the sets, or his shelves and his desk and his hat and all these things. I mean, that's current bid of 225.
Wow.
Which, plus auction fees, plus VAT, it's going to be expensive. If they'd split stuff up, then people might have transferring stuff.
It'd have been little, but more of it, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think all of these things are going to go to someone with deep pockets. Probably most will go out of the country, which is a shame. But yeah, that's the way of it, really. It's all for a good cause.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, you'll probably find the most comprehensive collection of the stuff after all these auctions will be at Drayton Manor, won't they?
Yes, or the Hara. Is it Hara Museum in Japan? They've got a lot of the models there as well. But yes, it would be nice if a museum bought them or if they were donated. Yes, Arthur is over £13,000 now.
Arthur is at 13 grand.
Yeah.
See, this is what I was sort of worried about. Is I completely think that it's fine to auction them off. It's going to a good cause. That's great. But what I was worried about is that some of these things might disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had I have to point out Tugs, because Tugs is another one of my it's a big thing for me. I really resonate with Tugs. It's one of the things I grew up with, and a lot of those props disappeared for years because they were just sold off.
They're just cascaded around the world, aren't they?
I think most of them have been brought together now. Tugs Trust have done quite a lot of work to get them together, because they do show them at the Midland Railway. Not that I've been to see them yet. It's not that far from me, but I haven't had a chance to go and see them on one of their open days. But yeah, that's a nice example of it, where they're at least put on display for people to see. But
yeah,
a permanent place in a museum, National Railway Museum, would be great. I think all the there's TV and animation places. There's a place in, I think it's Derbyshire, which is like a kids' toys museum, and that somewhere like that you could just have a display of some of the models that people can go and visit would be a good idea, I think.
Yeah, completely agree.
A part of me wants to see these people who bought these things do a James May Toy Stories thing and just rip them out of the packets and put them on the track and run them.
I thought
you have no idea.
Rip them apart.
Yeah, rip them apart, right? Okay. Right, so we got some questions, actually. So you guys in the chat are actually coming in absolute clutch. Thank you very much. So, Jake, where's the best place to buy custom HO or 00 faces for Bachmann Thomas models?
Legally, nowhere.
Legally nowhere.
Yeah, genuinely, legally you can't. But there are artists on, I'm going to say on Twitter, because that's where most of the people that I know who will sell you the files if you've got a printer. Because I bought a few, not for commercial use. There's a few people who look on Facebook groups and stuff, but I will just say, without the license, it isn't a legal thing to do. It's just that's the point, really. Sadly,
I think that's the unfortunate thing. I think that's the unfortunate thing about it.
Yeah.
Something that's very close to a lot of people's hearts is locked behind essentially a paywall.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be so bad if the Bachmann models had good faces to start with.
Yeah.
I really don't understand where the faces came from that they've used, because they're probably getting better. The narrow gauge ones look like, at least like the CGI characters, but like Thomas and Percy, they look nothing like the characters in CGI or model form. And it would have been so much better if they'd used the faces, let's say, like the Ertl models, which were close to the TV show or something like that. So, yeah. Sorry to disappoint.
No, not a disappointment.
If I could sell them, I would be a millionaire by now.
You'd be
seriously. The amount of people who ask and see me at shows and stuff who want to buy the model faces, if I could sell them without needing a license, then I'd be happy to do that. But it's not going to happen.
So, no, I agree, but licensing and all, nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. Lukash, favorite fan content?
I mean, I've got a firm favorite.
Go on him.
And it's that guy who's got managed to get the voice actor from Thomas to do the brown streak from GTA.
Michelangelo's.
Yeah, he's doing a Thomas version soon. He's teased it, and my God, that it looks brilliant.
The San Andreas Thomas thing. Yeah, I like
that. Chris is his name, Hat Loving Gamer.
Yeah,
and he's a friend of mine, and I have done some recording for him for a few bits that are coming up. So yeah, there will be a few train-themed things in the future. But yeah,
okay,
I'm excited.
Yeah, they were great. The GTA things.
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite.
So good.
There's loads of people that I follow, or YouTubers. I mean, Unlucky Tug.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, he's probably the biggest.
Yeah. No end of people, really. Jacob Jarrett, who did The Good Old Days, which was the recreation of one of the episodes.
Yep.
But there's so many YouTubers who do Thomas stuff. There are a lot of smaller channels as well, and I'm starting to be recommended things by YouTube, which are things that might just have a few followers. They're definitely worth watching, even if it's crap. Just watch a few minutes and then move on. But there might be some gold in there, definitely.
Well, going on from that, I must say, Tom, that I've watched Oliver's Great Escape a few times now from Unlucky Tug, and honestly, I think that is just absolutely fantastic. I love. As an adult, I can really appreciate that episode for everything that it is these days, and I absolutely adore it. You've done an absolutely wonderful job.
The duck accent, isn't it?
Yes.
Look at that.
Look at that.
I mean, it does help, but I think it just breathes new life into the episode. You know what I mean?
Well, they're always good fun to do, and they're well. He writes them well, and he researches. Yeah. He knows that much about everything about Thomas that.
Yeah,
they're well written, and they're written in a style of the original stories. So yeah, they're always good fun to do Unlucky Tug's videos.
Yeah, I think I really do like Unlucky Tug stuff. But I think for me, it's definitely the good old days. The Project Tiger Moth. When I saw that was coming out, I instantly was hit with a nostalgia. Like I wasn't going to miss that day one. It clocked in my head. I set an alarm. I set a date in the calendar. Like this is when it is coming. I am so ready for it. And it was an absolute nostalgia bomb.
That was so cool, and I mean, I wasn't anything to do with it until the US release came out, and then I got a message from Jacob that he wanted me to do the UK dub.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, please, because it was awesome. But yeah, that was amazing,
really good.
and the production that went into it, the work. I mean, it was
So
over 2 years the production that went into it before I was involved, and that's just that's sort of the pinnacle of fan content, I think, so far.
Yes.
That I've seen. That's a team of people coming together, working like the original TV show. Yeah. It's I think it became a bit sort of overwhelming for Jacob, because he did end up leaving Twitter and he's back there now. But I think the amount of people who are asking, when's the next one coming? When's the next one coming? And there's the problem with Thomas fans, as you well know, if you're watching this, is we can be quite intense without intending to be, probably.
Yeah.
And I find as well at events, not so much the model shows, but say the Awdry X, you get a lot of people coming up to you and demanding when the next thing's coming, or when are you doing this? When are you doing this? And I think that was getting quite a lot for Jacob. So he's decided not to do another one, which is a shame. Because if that hadn't happened, we could be looking at another episode in a year's time, with the same team. So we just need to kind of
be patient.
Be patient with people. We do it for fun.
Yeah. Things take time.
I get paid, but most people who do these things do it for fun. And
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The problem is these people. Some people don't realise that a lot of these things are done outside of their actual jobs. These things are done as fan projects, whereas they don't have full time to do these things. So it's going to take longer. And if they release it early for any reason, people are going to complain that it's been rushed.
Yeah.
Leave these people to finish what they're doing. They're artists. They're doing their best for the fandom and trying to put their passion into it. Just leave them alone.
Yeah, just let them get on with it.
Someone just asked who is Jacob at Jay's Workshop. Jacob Jarrett. He directed the Good Old Days, which actually 2022 it was released at Christmas. It's a while ago now.
2 years old now.
Which is the first episode of Thomas to be released with actual live models in Gauge 1. So it was done like an original episode, and there's a lot of people involved with it. Unlucky Tug edited it. There's Nathan Time, I think he pronounced his surname. He did all the music for it, whose music's used in a lot of things. So there's a lot of people involved with it, and it was a big production that took about 2 years. But yeah, it's definitely worth watching if you've not seen it. Watch the UK dub.
While you're saying that, I'm going to post a link
to the UK dub. Yeah.
As much as
nothing wrong with the US dub, by the way.
There's nothing wrong with the US dub.
Rob narrated that.
There is nothing wrong with that. But the UK dub, when I heard your voice on that, I did a little fist bump, like that's justice. Like
absolutely. Honestly, when it's just so good to hear a British voice narrating it. It just throws you back to your childhood.
Yeah,
completely agree. Right, moving on. What TV characters fit in the Railway series?
What's TV only characters?
Yeah.
So I need to be reminded which are the TV only characters.
I think this might be a problem. Is do any of them fit?
I'm just having a quick Google.
No, you carry on. You carry on, mate. I'm trying to think. I think Mighty Mac, which is from a later series of the model, which is based off a Double Fairly.
Yeah.
I think that might have fit in around the Ivo Hugh area. I think it would have been around the right time to introduce something like a Double Fairly. So I'm going to go with Mighty Mac.
I can't find this list. There was something on the Thomas Wiki that had a whole list of characters that only appeared in the TV show or only in the books.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Neville because everyone hates him.
Neville? No, I love Neville. Neville's great.
Who needs a Q1 anyway?
Emily would probably work, actually.
Emily would probably work.
Motorsport said, yeah.
Yeah, Phil. Phil, definitely agree with that. Emily, Spencer, Arthur, Salty, and Murdoch. I mean, Jay's covered the works there.
Cranky,
sure.
yeah.
Cranky. I think Cranky would have been a nice character, I think. I'm not sure I agree with Harvey. I think Harvey would have been quite confusing for kids looking at an illustration of a locomotive with a crane on it.
All the Misty Island engines.
No, don't.
Sorry, when I say everyone hates Neville, I don't mean everyone hates Neville.
Everybody hates Chris.
It's just one of those characters that was in one episode and had a crash and then was never seen again.
You've set Aaron off now.
I like Neville.
I like Neville.
Sorry for offending you.
Yeah, no. So I think those are some good choices. So Victor's touching on something we mentioned a bit earlier. So how does Talakling get the rights to hold Thomas events?
Well, Talakling were before the Brit Allcroft Company and the TV show. Awdry worked at the Talakling basically as one of the volunteers, and he did a lot of work promoting the railway. So when he wrote the books, the forward in the books was there is another little railway in Wales, and saying it's very similar to this one and you should go and visit it. So he had a personal relationship with the railway, and he gave them permission basically to have faces on the engines. So a lot of it stems from that, the fact that came before the TV show deals. But also now, the guys who run the Order Extravaganza, so Luke Ryan and a few other guys there, Dan and everybody, they have a good relationship with Mattel, and they've even loaned sort of illustrations from the books and props from the TV show. So this weekend just gone, they had a lot of the TV characters on display. So they do have a good relationship with Mattel, which is beneficial for both parties. So there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. That's the sort of the reason that they're able to do it, really, because there's that historical connection with Awdry in the first place.
Yeah, well said. And I think it's only right. I think it's only right that the Talakling is able to do these things.
Yes.
I think it would be an insult to the family and to the franchise and the fans if Mattel did anything to hinder the Talakling from, like they've been posting stories recently of they've got one of their locomotives actually named up as Sir Handel for the Awdry weekend coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
And I was just scrolling through Instagram, and my daughter sat down next to me and went, "It's Sir Handel," and I was like, "See, instantly recognizable." And I couldn't imagine a world where that isn't possible.
Yeah.
Any railway that has a reference to the Thomas series has a right to be able to display it. It's much like Stepney at the Bluebell, isn't it?
Yeah, there were some issues.
Sore subject.
I think.
Thought I'd bring this up.
Well, I mean, Brit Allcroft did deny that last year. She put a post out before she passed away in December, sadly. She put a post out basically denying these rumours that have gone around that she didn't let the railways have their way with the characters. But I think I've seen a few articles from the 90s about the Brit Allcroft Company saying that they weren't happy with the Bluebell Railway for using the Stepney face on their logo, even though that was an agreement from long before the books, before the TV show. So, you're playing with a jar of rocks. Sorry.
Piece of paper.
All right.
Piece of paper.
So these things do go back
Yeah.
before the TV agreement. So, but I think there was a thing in the 90s where that sort of happened. That was picked up by the papers. But Brit denies that she had any say in that. It was somebody at the Brit Allcroft
Rest
company.
us all.
And the Talaclin thing, I can't remember the truth behind that, whether the same thing happened or not. But I think from what she said, she didn't have the issue with it. It was more the license holders and the lawyers that got involved.
Right. Okay. There you are. Swiftly, are you going to Stratfold Barn or any events this year, Tom? I think you mentioned this on said podcast beforehand, but are you going anywhere this year?
Not going to Stratfold Barn. The show that we did doesn't exist anymore. It was a very good show and run by a friend of mine, Tony. And then it was sort of taken over by other people and gone in a different direction. So, yeah, we won't be doing the Stratfold show anymore, but we are going to be going to Awdry X in July at the Talaclin Railway. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're definitely going there. We're not trading at that one, but we're going just to have fun and play on the trains. And
good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I've just read proper chuffed.
Yeah,
how much have you had?
I think we all read that at the same time.
What's your treatment regime?
It's just let it go grey. Just let it go.
Just let it go grey.
Yeah.
No, do not bring that franchise into this.
But yes, Jay, yes, we will be at Milton Keynes. Let me tell you where we're going to be. Let me plug.
Go on, do the plug.
The events and get it out of the way.
I'm going to put the next question on the screen while I run to the little men's room.
Okey-doke. So our next show's in Nottingham at the end of May at Ruddington. That's the one with lots of Thomas. Thomas always appears. Oh, the music stopped. Milton Keynes in June. Again, there's lots of Thomas. Silver Fox, thanks. We've got Will Hay Day, which is our own event at the Great Central Railway. That's the 14th of June, where if you don't know who Will Hay, this is Will Hay, swearing at you. So we have a day dedicated to his films, and that's on the 14th of June. Then we're up at Locomotion in June, at the end of June at Shildon, Loughborough in August, then Oxford in September, Rapido Rail-X down in Kent, which will be awesome. The first time we've gone to that. Fareham in October, Gaydon in October, Spalding in November, then the NEC in November, and then Manchester for Christmas. So we're all over the country. We're all over England. I keep saying all over the country. We don't actually go outside of England. But, yeah, that's the plan. So, no, we won't be at Stratfold, but we'll be at lots of other places.
Well, you do get around a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you get much success with your stall going around, or do you get a lot of outreach?
We treat it like an advert, really. So it's the same sort of thing. It's just to be seen in places, but yeah, get lots of orders,
exposure.
Yeah, exposure. Sell a few bits, so it's all good. It's working. Touch wood.
Fantastic.
At the minute.
As long as it makes you money and keeps you going, that's the main thing.
Yes, yeah, usually.
What have I missed? Have we just finished calendar?
We haven't started on the next question yet. I was just plugging my business.
No,
you're doing that. I'm going to have a quick break.
So, if you could own any of the models from the TV series, which would you have?
Well, realistically, the ones that are in the auction at the minute, I did actually look through. I mean, I'd love a Gauge 1 Thomas, but that's not realistic. Yeah. But there was lots of little props that I like the look of. There's a whole set of the different foods and things that we used, and there's a whole set of Fat Controller's office.
Yes,
and it'd be cool to have a model of the Fat Controller and all the set that came with it, and just have that as a diorama set up where he's sat there eating his toast and marmalade.
I think that would be. Yeah, I think that would be great. I think for me, it's also that, like, just, some of the people, a driver, a fireman, something like that. I think I would love to have, just it's something that's potentially obtainable, because, as you say, the Gauge 1 models of the locos are just going to go for money. The same with any of the rollings. Yeah, I think that's the better way, for sure.
Yeah.
Dan, if you had to invent a new character for the books or series, what loco would it be, and where would it fit into the canon? This is heavy stuff for 2 hours and 4 minutes in.
That's really confusing. Not confusing, complicated.
I mean, we can save it for never.
I'd add Gladstone in, which Gladstone's the old engine from Owners to Porter. Just because it would be cool to have a little old man loco.
I think that would be great.
With a proper little old man face. Yeah.
Yeah, from my neck of the woods, I think I think that's a good choice. I think I'd love to see one of the coffee pots.
Yes, yeah, they did appear in CGI.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think the
cool
CGI ones, it would be cool to see it as a model. I think, I think Hornby are doing wondrous stuff with like the locomotion. Yeah, I think the intricacy of the movement for that model, I think they could do a coffee pot, and I think they could do it well.
Yeah, it would be cool. It seems to be a bit of a renaissance of of the early stuff, which is nice.
For the coffee pot, so I think it would fit in at the earliest where you see is it Neil, the box. I think you could easily put it in instead of Neil, or as a earlier loco than Neil that was in to help build.
As well as Neil.
Thank
you very much. I love Neil.
Ah, yeah.
I resonate with Neil.
S&M, yeah.
Yeah. Bloody hell! What time is it? Oh, it's gone 10 now.
It's gone 10 now. Do you have a hard stop? Do either of you have a hard stop?
No.
10:30.
No, not anymore. We were going to go to London tomorrow, but we've cancelled. So I'm just going to be hungover working instead.
There you go. Problem solved. Thoughts on Duke appearing at the Awdry extravaganza?
Oh, awesome! That was a surprise. I had no idea about that until the video came out. So yeah, Duke and Mike, the small engine. Mike, the small engine's going to be there as well. So yeah, that's awesome. I've got to get a photo with that.
That's Talaclin borrowing Prince, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's Prince.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So, because I've never seen that loco in real life.
That'd be amazing. That's going to be a once in a lifetime kind of thing to see as well.
On the Talaclin.
Because Talaclin and the Festiniog don't often share engines, so this is going to be a very rare holiday for a large England.
Are you going, Rob?
No.
Why not?
I would love to, but I'm saving my one day away to go and meet somebody, to go and enjoy a day on the trains for when you come over, James.
With some luck. If that doesn't happen, I expect you to go to the Awdry X.
We'll see.
Tickets go on sale this weekend.
There you go.
For members, and Monday for plebs.
Well, the thing is, I still haven't seen Tom Rolt in the flesh, so I need to see it.
I'll be honest. If you're going to see Tom Rolt, don't go on the Awdry extravaganza weekend, because it's a bloody nightmare. The amount of people that are there. If you want to see the trains running with faces,
don't go.
It's worth it. But if you want to just see the actual locos,
is it really that packed?
It's so packed, and it's I think it was their busiest. Last year was their busiest few days of the whole year. Like a few weekends combined. There's that many people that go now, so it will be a bit of a struggle for tickets. But we've had our hotel booked for a year.
That tells you how long you need to book in advance. There you go.
Yeah.
Chris, what British comedy series will Tom be modelling something from?
Well, I'm sticking with Dad's Army for a bit because I've got the license for that one. So I'm going to be doing the figures from Dad's Army. but that's a bit of it's a big project to actually get them done. That's sort of the next big commitment. But the license holders for that also do own the rights to Oh Dr. Beaching, which is a show that I loved when I was growing up. That was my favourite show when I was
mine too.
8. So I'd love to do a wagon from that. It's all down to licensing. That's the issue with TV stuff. Like, I'd love to do any of the BBC stuff, but it's impossible. Yeah. It's impossible to get these licenses. So yeah, that's the next one. Is Still Dad's Army and potentially Oh Dr. Beaching.
Oh Dr. Beaching could be good. Could be good. Thomas things. What do you think they're teasing for Thomas in 2026? So I think you might have missed this. We briefly discussed this over 2 hours, almost 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a feeling it's going to be the trailer for the movie if it's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know what else it would be otherwise.
I will go to the cinema to see that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you sure it won't be straight to streaming platform?
It'll be Netflix, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
It'll be one of those, won't it? For sure. Tom Marshall, what is your favourite Railway Series book?
I'm torn between Very Old Engines, Enterprising Engines, and Branch Line Engines, and I can't decide. It's different every time I think about it. So,
I mean, it's Very Old Engines for me out of those three.
Yeah, I just love the illustrations and the backstory that comes into it. No idea what he's talking about.
Bingo.
He's on about Tom Roll.
He's on about Tom Roll.
Yeah.
Right, Henrietta, face or no face?
No face.
No face.
It was weird. It was weird when the face came because she has a face in the Christopher books, and I read recently an interview with the illustrator, Clive Spong. I can't remember who did the interview. It was somebody on Twitter that I follow. I'm sorry that I can't remember your name right now, but yeah. And Clive Spong said, "Well, she's talking, so I've given her a face," and which makes sense.
Yeah,
but she never had a face in the earlier books and in the TV show until the CGI. So I find it a bit weird to see the face, personally.
No,
you guys?
Yeah, I can't deal with. I'm one of these that I don't like faces on the trucks either.
In the words of Engage USA, Henrietta's always looking at Toby's arse.
Well, technically, looking at Toby's face.
Yeah. That is something I wish they'd done on the TV show just to freak the kids out.
Yes.
Is to have the two faces on the ones that have two faces in the books.
Completely agree with that. I think, and that would have freaked the living frick out of me. So
yeah.
So again, I think you've already answered this one. Thoughts on Chris's books and your favourite book? I think you mentioned Jock. Yeah,
Jock the New Engine. Again, it's probably because it's one of the first books I had. I wouldn't say it's my favourite, though. My favourite's probably Thomas of the Great Railway Show. Mm-hmm. Just because there's some awesome illustrations of Thomas on the back of a lorry getting a parking ticket.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that might be my favourite from the Chris era. I need to pick those books up, actually. I bought the 26 set of the originals for my daughter last year, and I think she's going to... for my daughter last year. Yeah. And I think she's going to get the Christopher Awdry books this year.
If you can find them.
If I can find them.
Yeah, as James reads them to get to sleep at night.
The problem with it is they've not, because I got it when they first came out, the probably 20 years ago, but they haven't released them since, and they're very hard to get for under 300 quid for the book of the Chris's books now. So that's something I was hoping for this year, is whether they'd bring out one volume of all of Wilbert's and all of Chris's together. That would be really cool. Or republish the small books. I think they need to be done in small book form again.
Yeah. Hill, what is your least favourite character and why is it James? Why is it always me?
Well, every James I know is...
Hang on a minute. Is he asking about the series or the stream?
Every James I know is a legend. So.
Oh,
lad,
Oh, sorry, I
absolute
forgot your
lad.
name is James. No, James is great. James is great. I love his, especially the TV show. I love the accent that he was given by Michael Angelis, where it just sounds like he's proper pissed off again, like Thomas at everything. No, James is great.
Let the red go to his head.
Yeah.
Do you think our hosts posing as Thomas, Toby, and Percy makes sense?
Yes.
that's his answer. No more elaboration.
What's your ideal pint for a warm Saturday evening?
Right. Well. Oh, you know what? I've changed a bit. It used to be when I went to uni, I was ale man all the time.
Ooh.
Every night out I'd only drink ales or stouts and stuff. And I've kind of changed a bit. Sort of ciders, ales. I'm getting into lagers now as well, which I never used to drink. But as long as I know, it's because you'll get to it when you get to my age.
I'm the same age as you, practically.
As long as it's cold, I'll drink it. But, on a hot day, probably a cold lager does appeal more than a room temperature ale. But I
get that.
On a winter's day, the other way round. Cider's always good.
Agree.
Good question. Let's stick on the alcohol questions.
Yeah, let's go to the alcohol questions. Let's finish this. Let's get to the alcohol. For me, I think I'm the same, but I can't ever turn down an Abbott's.
Oh yeah.
First time in ages.
If I see an Abbott's on tap, I'm sold. That's all I'm drinking for the rest of the night.
You're from Kent, are you?
No, I'm not.
He's definitely southern though.
I'm from Hampshire, Basingstoke.
Oh god, they're all southern down there.
The bias.
You're from
real.
Basingstoke. Do you know Clidderston in Basingstoke?
I do know Clidderston.
Do you know what it's famous for?
Oh, Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Porter. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Porter. That's why I agree with the Gladstone.
Thank God for that.
Don't worry. It's not just Thomas we have in common.
It's not warm beer up well and onwards. It's room temperature.
Oh,
well, sorry, cellar temperature.
You can tell he's a Kiwi.
It's cellar temperature, which is usually a bit cooler than a room, but not on a day like this.
Abbott's, get in the bin. Out you go, Jay. I'm sorry. No.
There used to be a beer that used to sell locally to me called Saddle Tank, and anywhere I'd go, I'd have that because obviously train related.
Yeah.
But being near the Severn Valley, there's a lot of railway-based ales around here. Ones that are brewed locally as well. So you go to any real ale pub around here, there will be a railway one.
That's one of yours, isn't it? Butty Back?
I believe so, yeah.
Salop.
Butty
yeah.
I lived in Much Wenlock for a little while.
So did a lot of people.
Yeah, it's one of those places.
I've heard of so many people who grew up in in Much Wenlock.
Yeah.
Butty Back. I'm sorry. Can we circle back to Butty Back? That sounds very rude.
It's nice. It's quite a dark beer.
Yeah.
I bet it is Butty Back.
I think I've had that one before, and it's really gritty and like a ale kind of taste, but it's really good.
Yeah. Oh, Hooterton lived in Much Wenlock as well. I only lived there for a year.
Okay, thank you very much, mate. You have a good night.
Have a good evening.
It's not
Charlie's...
warm.
No, it's cellar
temperature.
Cellar temperature. I'm quite partial.
Maybe not a cellar in New Zealand, but a cellar here.
A cellar in New Zealand is hot.
I'm quite partial to a hobgoblin myself.
See, that was one of my go-tos at uni because they'd have hobgoblin on tap in quite a few of the bars.
Yeah,
I enjoy that. It can be a bit heavy sometimes.
It can.
Now I'm turning into an old man.
We all do eventually, Tom. We all do.
Yeah.
Please say no.
No. I mean, I could do one little cameo of 3 old men in a bathtub. That would
Three
work.
old men in the bathtub.
I bet it would be popular. It would be popular. Problem is, with any BBC shows, a bit different with Dad's Army, but most of the time it's the BBC license that you need. And they won't deal with you unless you're a limited company, which I'm not. There's certain rules that you have to go around, and it's like, it's not worth it, really.
No. For the gain you're going to make, it's not worth the aggravation.
No.
Oh.
No, I don't get it. Right, slightly off topic, Double M Dave. Have you read Tom Rolt's book, Railway Adventure? Rob, if you haven't, I'm going to be disappointed.
I'm a fan of the locomotive, not the person, because I don't know who he is. I know that Tom Rolt was one of the founding members of the Talachin, but I don't know much about the guy, but I know more about the locomotive.
There's the door. Off you go.
No, the door's actually down.
No, I've not either.
I will look into it.
3 for 3. 3 for 3. Somebody share the book in PDF form, and I'll give it a browse.
I just want to say one more time before we start going towards the finish. Please please subscribe to the channel, and we love you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for joining while we're rambling down. Any more questions, whether it's Railway series related or otherwise, or alcohol related? It seems to have diverted to that. But yeah, I think trying to wrap this up, I think we can safely say that the books have been highly influential for a lot of people.
I forgot we were talking about the Railway series.
and that's why this exists. It's to start talking about something and just get on and just completely lose our way and go, hang on, we've just been talking for a while. We might want to do something about this.
James, we're getting a reputation for this, mate.
It's exactly as it should be, Rob. It's exactly as
brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it.
It's what the industry is missing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an
That's
interesting question.
I'm trying not to replicate like the way that they're done by the existing voice actors, but I do quite like the way that Michael Angelis did the Fat Controller.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite hard to get right. So I'll do this. I'll try to see if I can do it now. Trobbers. That sort of. It sounds like Churchill the dog. Trobbers. You. Well, give me something to say. Final question from me. To you three. What RWS character do you dislike and why?
It really does sound like the Churchill dog, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. So I'd say the Fat Controller. Oh, yes.
Can you do a
Thomas,
3D model of the
a
Churchill
little
dog?
twat. What? Sorry. Happy 80th anniversary, you little twat.
I think no, I don't get it. The flying Kipper did a great Sir Topham. You'll have to let me. You'll have to send us that. You'll have to send us that.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out which Thomas character I dislike the most.
Which RWS character do you dislike? I mean, it's got to be that whirlybird thing.
Harold.
It's got to be the whirlybird, isn't it? For me, I don't know. I didn't like him in the
token helicopter.
Yeah, the token helicopter. Spring
I'm going to
Point,
say
thank you very much for
Ginty
joining.
and Pug.
Ooh.
It'd have been so much better if he was an Apache, wouldn't it?
I mean, why wasn't he an Apache? I don't get it. I don't get it. It needed to be Apache.
Just imagine him strafing the railway line. Just like...
Percy would have lost that race.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hilton, thank you for sticking around. I know this has been a burden for you.
It's been my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. It's been an ambition of mine ever since you asked me on Saturday.
Well, it's been an ambition of yours for 5 days, and we appreciate it.
Don't tell people we asked you late notice. Sam needs to think we ordered you beforehand.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Yeah.
5 months ago, before we even started streaming.
Yeah. No, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, Tom. We really appreciate it, and definitely we will be inviting you back.
Thank you very much. I'll think about it.
He's going to start. He's going to start talking about us negatively, like he does with everybody else now.
He's going to come off this, wake up tomorrow morning, and just be like, "What was that thing I did yesterday?" Like, I do not remember yesterday whatsoever. Do not associate me. No, completely. That's the Model Rail Replacement podcast.
Legends.
Legends.
I joke about him, but you know what? Sam and James, really top blokes.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more.
I'm not even joking now.
Oh.
Yeah, they are. They're really cool. Listen to the Model Rail Replacement podcast, everybody. And
Absolutely.
subscribe to the Shunting Yard.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. No, seriously,
so they
do
can
go
get
and
some
listen.
proper guests.
Do go and listen to the Model Rail Replacement podcast if you do not already. It is a staple of Monday mornings.
Between us and Merp, we are quite close, as we always intend to be. You know, we do have friendly banter between the two of us.
No, we give them shit.
Yeah, and they give us shit as well. And it's friendly banter, not negative. So yeah, we will always support fellow podcasters, fellow streamers, and whatnot. So
anyone who's doing anything to promote model railways,
absolutely,
every YouTuber out there, there's so we just got to keep it going. We're the next. Yeah. I know it sounds a bit sad, but we're the next generation. I know I'm a bit older than you guys, not you, but this is how it's going to continue. It's not model railway clubs anymore. It's online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Things like this.
Join our Discord.
I've joined it. I've no idea what I'm doing, but I've joined it.
It's no.
I'm going to start my own Discord.
We've already got Hilton.
Tom, tell you what, you can be responsible for the Trains in Faces channel on our Discord.
I'm trying to find it. I don't even know how to use Discord.
Well, if you need help, ask.
Yeah, just there's an intro. Find the introduce yourself, and people will point you in the right direction.
I hope I'm around for the Christmas stream. Didn't even know there was one.
There will be.
Yes,
there will be.
There's also a birthday stream in July, so keep your eyes open for that one.
I'm on holiday in July.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
God, Rob, move your birthday.
Plan A has been aborted.
When in July is it? When in July?
Oh God, I don't have the thing on me.
It's like the 16th, isn't it, or something like that?
I think it's 17th.
That's the Awdry weekend.
Is it the Awdry weekend?
Yeah, we'll be heading down on the Thursday, so I won't be.
Oh, damn it!
And so will you, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, you better be. No, it's been an absolute pleasure.
See.
Thank you very much. I was going to say something. Yeah, so something we haven't actually done beforehand, but I think we've been plugging too many people. So, is there anyone or any content creator or anything you would like to shout out, Tom, specifically?
Oh, bloody hell.
I'm dropping this on you, and I'm dropping this on Rob. Don't worry.
There's so many. Tell you what, I am going to shout out. It sounds fixed, but because he's working tonight and he's not been able to join us, I'm not going to say Emperor's Path because he doesn't need the promotion. But if you check out James Western Signalman on YouTube, he's building a 009 layout. He's one of the hosts of the podcast. The really good podcast. But yeah, Western Signalman on YouTube. He's building a 009. Really nice work. He's a lovely bloke. So yeah, check it out and have a look at that. And I can't think of anyone else.
Rob, anyone that springs to your mind that you'd like to shout out?
To be on topic with the Thomas theme, I would like to shout out Tom's Modelling Corner. He's a very good friend of mine. I've known him ever since I started Instagram. I've spoken to him pretty much almost every day since I started on Instagram. He's the loveliest bloke. He makes some really good content. And yeah, go find him, like him, subscribe. He's on both YouTube and Instagram.
I met him 2 weeks ago for the first time.
He's a lovely guy.
He's lovely, yeah. And I've chatted with him quite a bit in the past, and he's well worth checking out his stuff as well.
James?
So I'm going to shout out a relatively. It's not a new channel, but he's returning, and I think Hilton will know this one specifically. But it's PG Prototypes. Recently started back up on YouTube, building a double gauge shunting layout, and has been putting out a few videos this week of building layout. So he's on part 4 of building his new layout. Another South African.
There's not many of them on here, so you got to.
I'm really enjoying it so far, so I'm going to give him a shout out. He's got 150.
I've just subscribed. He's got 158.
There you are, 158. Look at that. There you go. So yeah, please go and check PG Prototypes out. And I think unless there's anything additional from any of us, any additional last comments, Rob, Tom.
After you,
other
Rob.
than cheers.
Cheers. Well, okay.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, don't drink and drive, and spend a bit of time on YouTube looking at all the things people have done for the 80th anniversary, because there's so much out there. Yes. I think every single Thomas fan on Twitter and Instagram that I've seen has done a video. So
yes,
have a look through. Don't just watch mine, but start with mine, and enjoy it. The Unlucky Tugs video is about 2.5 hours long.
It's
worth it.
I was looking at watching that today, and
I have a massive analysis to do for work tomorrow, and I've literally been saving that video specifically so I can have it in the background while I do that analysis.
Yeah, they're great. But yeah, so just have a look through. There's so much stuff out there, and leave a comment, like and subscribe to different people. Build the community.
Yes. I don't think there's any greater sign off that you can give than that. So I'm gonna end it with happy 80th to the Railway series, and may there be many more to come.
And also, cheers, Tom, everybody. Would you like to say where we can find you, and go from there?
Well, you were in the toilet when I said it last, so I'll go through the list. You can next find me 24th and 25th of May at Nottingham Transport Heritage Centre, Milton Keynes on the 7th of June, and then Will Hayday on the 14th of June, which is at the Great Central Railway. So, yeah, there's a few. They're all on my website, buggleskellystation.com. Cheers.
And what about your social medias? Where can people find you?
Oh, that's complicated. Right. So, probably most active is Facebook. If you search for Buggles Kelly Station, I'll show up on there. I'm on Twitter, Photographics UK, which is confusing because that's my old business name. Tom Photographics on Instagram, Buggles Kelly on TikTok. Oh my god, what's the other ones? Buggles Kelly Station on YouTube, and whatever it is on Blue Sky, Buggles Kelly, I think. God, I'm on everything. So yeah, you'll find me.
You're going to have to teach us your social media ways.
Basically, have a midlife crisis and spend 23 hours of 24 hours a day on your phone, and you'll get it.
Okay, Rob.
I can found... It's social media that's done that to you. You can find me on YouTube under the Kiln Line, Instagram under the Kiln Line, And also, you can find me on the Shunting Yard, Instagram as well, and YouTube.
Yes,
That's a
that's
lot
you,
easier.
isn't it? The Shunting Yard.
Yes, I do the reels.
Ah, that makes sense.
So very well. So very well.
I do try.
As for
And
me,
you, James?
I'm just worried about how much you've been drinking, you know. As for
I'm
me,
not drinking anymore.
Oh, you say that. So you can find me at the Little Western Model Railway on Instagram, and the same on YouTube, and also check out the Shunting Yard as well. Also, please, if you haven't already, go and check out Tom from Bungle Skelly Station. You have been an absolute pleasure of a guest for joining us today. So thank you very much again.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining at such short notice as well. You know,
That's fine.
it's been absolutely amazing. So I'm going to say good night from me. Cheers.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Like and
everybody.
subscribe.
Like, subscribe, join the Discord, and we'll see you next week with another riveting topic. Take care, everybody.
Look forward to it. All right.
Have a good
Cheers.
evening.
Bye.